Recycling.
Okay,
First off, I want to say thank you for putting this together and allowing the committee to go over things. I was awarded $5,000 out of the $25,000 that I asked for. I understand that there's some money that's still available that hasn't been earmarked for anything. I was going to ask that be earmarked for the small businesses that still would possibly need the money. I would actually need about $10,000 more to get actually back where I'm at. I'm still going to be losing money, but it would be to where I would be able to start operations and get my equipment all back. So I would ask that be earmarked for the small businesses that still are needing some funding. I appreciate the grant that was awarded to me.
Okay.
But if there's a possibility, I would like to ask for 10,000 more to be able to get all of my equipment back and get up and running correctly. Thank you.
okay. Gene?
Yes, to go along with what he's saying, okay, now we know when you brought it out, the businesses that were denied money totally. Now, when, Garrett's not gonna be here today, that's the only agenda, so what I'm asking now is on this part, is when are they going to go back and re-examine those 32 businesses to be given some money that they didn't get anything? That's the first question. When are you going to do that? There's funds over, there's funds to be available now, so that's the first question. I got more, so.
Okay, go ahead.
That's the first question. Okay, and so I would like to have that answered. When are you planning on doing it? Or when are they gonna plan on looking at that, those extra funds? And like what he was wanting for himself, he didn't get anywhere near what he really needed to get back on track. Are you gonna answer or not?
This is public comment.
For God's sake, public comment is also where you're supposed to answer. So you're not gonna answer. Now, don't smile, Kenny. Don't start that.
I didn't smile.
Yes, you did. I seen you do it. Now,
Well, I'm sure
look,
sorry, Gene.
Look, okay, fine. Okay, but let me tell you something. You got some desire, you got extra cash. You're gonna have to do something with it. And if you're not even gonna look at them again, then the extra money should also be looked at for the townships, be given some, like what I'm told you here 2 weeks ago. So, what about that? Are you gonna answer that or not? You know, I tell you, I can't believe this. So I want it on the record, and I know Jay's taping it then, and it's being taped. You're refusing to answer a question from the floor on this money, and also to go along with that then is, I've talked to several businesses this past week, which you weren't open at all last Monday, and so I'm asking, what stage are we in getting the checks done for the businesses that do want the money, because they have not, nobody got any yet. So where is that at?
I just signed them. And as soon as they run them through the embossing machine, they'll be mailed out.
So you signed all the checks?
I did, just right now.
Okay. Well, that's something then, so the businesses are gonna get paid.
We told people 2 weeks ago that we would issue those checks today, and we have. So they've all been signed, they have to be run through the
Nobody
machine.
knew that. Nobody knew, you guys were closed up Monday, so that's why I'm asking, see?
Gene.
That's fine,
Gene, they said that at the last meeting, 2
fine,
weeks ago.
fine, I just wanna make sure it got done.
You do. Okay, anyone else for public comment?
Well, mine is a question, so if this isn't a question time, I'll wait till question time.
Okay,
Yeah, they won't answer any questions if they don't wanna answer.
One thing, when the W-9s were mailed out from Linden, Kansas here, I actually talked to Rhonda and came up here last Monday because I was coming up for the meeting, didn't realize everything that is going on. She said I should have had that, they mailed it out, mine was postmarked on the 30th, I actually came out here and filled my W-9 out up here.
okay.
She set it out for me and I was able to put it in the little box. But I didn't receive mine until the 9th of September. It took 9 days to get.
Post
from-
office.
From wherever it was to Osage City, Kansas, with, like, 9 miles. from
But it
right
has
here.
to go to
It-
Topeka
it-
to
it
Kansas
moved
City.
a mile a day.
Yeah.
The question that I was gonna try to find out, if you have signed those and folks are here, are they gonna have to be mailed out, or are we able to pick those up today here?
I would say they'll get mailed out because that office is still
The
closed.
office is still closed till, I think tomorrow night at midnight is their magic time. So I think all the checks that they're doing, they will mail.
Okay, well, I talked to Rhonda this morning, and she said that they would be ready after probably noon. So that's why I was wondering if we were able to pick them up here, if we had said, hey, we're gonna come up.
You can't interact with this office
No,
till after that.
I did by phone.
You can
Okay.
you could call there and ask her to hold yours till Wednesday, and you could pick it up Wednesday
Well,
probably.
I knew they had to be quarantined for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
and
Right.
That's just the way that is, I
Right.
understand that, but,
Yeah.
okay, well, hopefully they'll go more than a mile a day.
We don't control the post.
No,
Right.
I know it goes from here to Kansas City and then back, but.
Yeah. So, okay. Any other public comments? Okay,
Rhonda slipped me a note and said Gareth Nordstrom's on the agenda for 10:30.
okay. Put that on there. No, you're looking at bills too.
What do you wanna do?
No, that's fine. We might as well, we still have to prove these too, even though we've stamped them, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Are you calling this a special bill payout? What do you want?
I guess we'd call that, well, call it CARES
Yeah,
payout, so.
I move we approve the payout of the CARES Act money as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
You signing that one?
Yeah.
Fred, what was the amount on that?
The total, read it off, or 2,000,000.
2,030,558.47 cents. Taylor.
Okay. Tammy.
Who's that?
How are you this morning?
I'm here. Okay, my first question that caused problems is, I know you guys have approximately 10 part-time employees, which I have one of those, and I would like him to get a flu shot, but I don't know what your policy is as far as being mandatory or if the county will pay for it. It's $38, and if you guys won't, then we'll figure something out. But
Usually,
I told him he's mandatory.
the further, we don't force anybody to get a shot. But it's a good idea. And the full-time employees, their health insurance covers
Right,
it.
I
Right.
know that.
And we've always, in the past, even back before that was the case, the county always covered all the employees' flu shots that wanted them if they went to the health department and got them. And I personally don't have a problem with that on the
Okay.
part-time ones.
No.
And it's a good idea, and I'd even make that a motion that the county pays for part-time employees to get flu shots at the health department.
That's fine.
Right.
I mean, we're not gonna have them going running all over the world and
No,
stuff, but you
no.
will need to,
And I'll take you.
if Rhonda was here, I would say, Rhonda, please tell Jackie that we did this. So, write it down somewhere
Yeah.
that we told, because it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Especially
Well, it's with
on your
everything going
population.
on in
Yeah,
my
right.
population, and he goes, he does for, Meals on Wheels nutrition site, so, we have told him he has to, so.
Well, Yeah,
Just because
it's a very
of
good
our
idea.
population.
I would second that motion. Fred.
Okay,
And my next thing is,
we did.
um,
Okay,
I-
all in favor
sorry.
of
Aye.
providing shots? Okay,
Okay,
motion
sorry.
carries.
My next thing is that I finally found a website that I could do.
But we're not requiring it if they don't want to.
I know.
So
but
just
I
let them
will-
know that,
Before it
it's
goes
available.
public, I will
yes.
take him over there. Anyway, he's scared of shots, I think, but
Oh.
that's beside the point. I finally found a website that I could do, and I got it all done, except now I need to publish it. And it's actually on sale today. It's $9.90 a month, which would be about $118.80 to get the domain to publish it.
Oh, for the senior centers
Yeah,
have
for
their own
the
website.
seniors
Okay.
have their own website.
That doesn't seem too pricey to me.
Cheaper than a newsletter.
And it's under $300, so you really can just do it.
I know,
without
but they'll
purchasing.
have to do it with the credit card or whatever,
Well,
so
that's fine.
I bring it to you guys.
Do it.
Okay, thank you. And this is my deal, and this is under 302. That's my deal on snow removal for the senior center. I'd like the top one.
Got more than one bid.
I do, I've got two, just because of past circumstances.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Better to get more than one.
so, if that's okay.
Well, you got two reputable people to bid, and there's a price difference. And he does say that salt or ice melt's an extra charge, so, and they both say it. No, the one is including
It
ice,
is inclusive, yeah.
but you don't always need it. Man. Who do you,
The first one.
you're happy, I didn't know which one was first. I got the low bid, oh. So, I mean, you're there is a little bit of comparison because
There
he's
is, but-
including, one of them's including all the
Right.
product and one of
Right.
it isn't.
Well, and the one is including that all day, and the other one's not.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's true.
So it's okay to go with the one I want to,
Yeah, and it's actually under the 300, so you could really,
just do it myself, okay?
that's under your
Yeah.
purview at that point.
Okay.
But it's thank you for informing us. And,
Yeah,
and that's,
okay.
and you did it the correct way, getting multiple bids, so thank you.
Alright. We are almost ready, I think, I thought maybe they'd paint this weekend, but they didn't. So they've washed it, and everything, so they're getting ready to paint it, so hopefully it'll be within this week or so. The
We'll
front of
paint
the-
it and then we'll put
front
the
of
sign
senior
up.
center, and then we'll get the city to put the sign up,
Great.
so that's getting close.
Is all it needs is paint?
Yep.
There's no repair need to be done?
Well, I don't know, he won't know until he starts doing some of the stuff, but he didn't really think so.
Doesn't look bad to me.
It doesn't look bad
I've
at
looked
all.
at it a couple
Uh-uh.
times, and
No.
other than paint, it needs painted,
Yeah,
obviously, but.
Yeah, but, yeah, so the part down at the bottom, the stucco part, down at the bottom, some of it's come off, and he's gonna go ahead and paint that, and then he's gonna use the color that he paints that, which is the color that, where the sign was, it'll be that color, and then he'll trim all of it in that color too.
Huh.
So it'll look real sharp
Yep,
when they get it
that'll look good.
Okay, good.
real sharp, so, yeah, 'cause I want that out of my building.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the way.
Yeah, it'll look good.
Okay, that's all I have. You guys
Okay,
have
thank you.
anything else? Nope, okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
What do you have in your pile, as we call it?
Okay.
Change
Motion to
orders.
approve those change orders.
Okay. I move we approve real estate change orders, blankety blank through blankety blank.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Get the sticker off that.
Okay, and they haven't had any symptoms on the one. And I stayed away.
I don't blame you.
Mr. Romine, come on up. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Good.
Right.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Yes.
Interesting. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. I have received our funds for the EOC enhancement grant.
Okay.
I have 3 POs here.
Okay.
First one is for the touchscreen for $49.15. Second one is for 2 Dell Latitude 7400 laptop computers. And the third one is for a large screen TV and a mount from McCoy's Electronics in Osage City.
And they're all out of that grant.
Yes, there was 4 items in there, and I'm waiting on a purchase, or I'm waiting on a quote on the Zoom USA 3-year
That
subscription,
was
Oh,
also
okay.
paid for,
which I
right?
should have probably today.
Okay.
Great.
So I'll probably-
There was enough money in the grant to cover all these costs.
I got, yes. These are the exact prices I put in the grant,
Okay.
which was approved by the state for
Very
funding.
good.
I
Very good.
got the check's been deposited, so we have the money available to spend.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on more than one.
There's 3
Yeah.
areas.
I move we approve purchase order 3501 to McCoy's Electronics, $829.98, and it's paid for out of the fund, the EOC enhancement grant.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Then I move we approve purchase order 3699, also out of the EOC enhancement grant. Am I going too fast for you, Christine?
I'm getting it.
And it's to Presentations Products for $4,915 for the above mentioned conference camera, the touch screen, I can't read your writing,
It's a
Bryce.
smart board.
The smart board, that's the expensive part. That's the word I was
That's the way
looking
to describe it.
Okay.
Comes with its own computer, it's got a camera for webinars.
Okay. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then purchase order 3700, also out of the EOC enhancement grant to Dell for the 2 Dell Latitude laptop computers, at $3,524.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Well, thank you for going after those grants and getting them.
Right.
This has been a pretty good year for me.
Yes, it has been it's been a rich
John
year
signs
for
that, and then we
EOC
give
grants.
Copy of it back to him, but
EOC
that
is
can be
pretty
done
standard
at a later
grant, but
time.
the rest
Yeah.
of these, you have to go out and do the work on. This was a short-lived one. I got an AFP grant for the fire district this year, so
Mhm.
we're working with that, so.
They'll get you your copies of those
Yeah.
back to you after Rhonda's back and sort. We're not putting too much onto Christine, please bear with
Yes.
us on the paperwork issues. Christine's doing a great job for us, though.
Yes.
I could give those orders today if I had the copy of the PO, so.
You'll have them today, I'm
You
sure.
can get them today, call in there and tell them.
I'll bring them with me when I come back up.
If I'm not in the office,
Leave them with Bonnie.
just, give them to Bonnie.
Okay.
Would be great. I just wanna get some of that stuff's
Hanging.
Right.
can take a while to get. We have the funds setting in the other CARES grant that was approved. Are we gonna be able to start spending that?
The stuff that was approved.
Yes.
Was paid out today. That's another Rhonda question.
Right,
call her and ask her.
I haven't talked to her. That was the part that was in there and that, I don't have that file with me, but, it was in the sheriff's office, emergency management. Some of the, it didn't show up actually on the approval from, the state as, but they missed it according to Garrett, so.
Oh, I was gonna say,
look
well,
on,
Garrett's gonna
look
be here
on there
at
and
ten
see if it's in
thirty.
there.
But I mean, on here, those parts, the ones going back to the county wouldn't have been,
Oh, right, okay.
would they? That's why I said it was a Rhonda question.
Right,
I'll talk to Ron some more.
okay,
Garrett says that we can, yes, we need to get that stuff ordered because
Right.
it's got this 31.
Yeah, it's got that
Yes.
deadline.
I know a couple of those items in there are pretty scarce right at the moment, so
Yeah, the way I understand it, they at least have to be ordered,
that's my understanding.
that,
You get these in some kind of order.
I will talk to Ron.
okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Heather, you said you had a question, was it?
Oh, it's, kind of piggybacked off of Jean's, but a couple weeks ago, maybe 3, and I think it was Ken that had mentioned that there might be some money that at some point they might open it back up to some businesses that maybe didn't get their applications in or didn't know about it in time, and so that was a question that I did have, is that, what's the time frame on that? When's that gonna be determined?
Let's wait till Garrett comes, talk to him.
Okay.
Is he coming today?
He's on at 10:30 now, I don't know what that means, whether he's on a phone call or whether he's going to be here.
She didn't say, so I don't know either, but took it he was gonna be here.
That was just found out this morning, so.
Okay.
Would that also be a Garrett question on the extra money that's out there being allocated or earmarked for the small businesses? Is that a Garrett question also, or is that?
Well, we need to know how many dollars we're talking about somewhere, you know, so.
Just one issue, if you got a minute, but,
Okay.
a couple weeks ago, there was we talked about a property that's going to the Board of Tax Appeals.
Right.
Got well over $1 million
Right.
valuation. And since that time, I found out just recently that the taxpayers, doing a fee appraisal. with
Right.
A reputable firm, and my recommendation is that the county hold off on the county appraiser's request on hiring,
Right, okay.
outside counsel or a possible fee appraisal themselves until we sit down and look at that appraisal.
Yes,
Is it still on schedule to go to
It's
Boda?
not scheduled
Oh,
yet.
it's not.
oh, okay,
And so, I mean, it's a no-brainer in my opinion, but I tried to get a hold of the county appraiser last week and she was gone, I guess.
Okay.
So, but
yeah, they'd called me and told me they'd got an appraiser, and so I don't have a problem.
it
Wait and see what they.
makes sense to look at it.
Yeah.
It makes sense to look at it.
Do that one.
You might as well, yeah, okay. Well, we're, oh. I move we approve purchase order 3698 to CMRSFP, which is postage for the advance ballots, in the amount of $1,500.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Say that again. Postage?
Postage meter for the advance ballots.
Oh, we're purchasing a postage.
No, we pay
You're putting
postage.
money on it.
We have to mail out the ballots.
Okay, to put postage in the meter. for
Yes.
the-
Right, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And I guess we're getting quite a few advance ballot requests, so.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Understand.
Hey, Lord. I didn't see anything wrong with these minutes, did you?
No.
I don't know if she wants to wait and do them next week, or if she wants to, if you wanna slide it under the door and she'll do them, or, and slide it back for us to approve.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Oh,
that all is working.
We'll wait and do it all at once, that's not that big
I
a
don't
hurry.
think you can get them under
I
that.
think carpet holds it.
Yeah. And I move we approve hiring Catherine Ormsby in land development, part-time at $14 an hour to help out Becky, so.
Second.
All in favor?
Temporary part-time was,
Yes.
is the class, yeah.
Second that.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. That's all you got? Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Wells is next.
Thank you, Christine, for agreeing to do this
Yeah.
and putting up with this. We appreciate it. It's above and beyond your usual duties, and we appreciate you. Salute.
So they closed the road and bridge today since you're
Lisa's
down
up
there?
there. She's second in command.
Come on up. How are you this morning?
Good, how are you?
Good,
A couple purchase orders.
okay?
Don't matter.
They'll come around here either way.
This one's for the body armor, and that one's for a computer.
I don't have a computer or body armor, so I had to order both.
Oh, yeah.
Kinda need both of them.
Yeah, that's true. So,
We just went through the company that we bought all the last laptops from, and they gave us the same price.
Purchase order 3505 is to GT Distributors, which is where they always get all the body armor.
right,
And it's custom fitted and all, I'm assuming, or
Yes.
right size for
Yes.
you.
So it's fitted to me.
So, so purchase order 3505 is for $1,079.84 to GT Distributing out of the sheriff's fund for body armor for our new sheriff.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
And the next one is purchase order 3679 for Ramco Rugged Portables for the basically vehicle laptop and dock and adapter plate that for the new sheriff.
Second that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One more.
One more.
This one's for a vehicle. When we look through our vehicles, we actually need 8 new ones. We were budgeted, I think, for 6. We did some moving around for mileage wise. I think we can get away with 7. This one, I think it's Lawrence PD. Was it Lawrence PD that canceled?
It was Douglas County, Missouri.
They ordered it, they canceled it, so they're gonna give us a really good deal on it. And I hate to turn up, 27,000 versus 33. And
33.
they're scheduled to go up 2,500 next year.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't even know if you could get new ones. This one was just a turn down, so.
Yeah.
Can you get other new ones for out of the,
You can order them to be, start building them.
yeah, but I mean, are they saying you'll get them in 21 if you order them?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's purchase order 3506 from Landmark Dodge, where pretty much all vehicles have,
Right.
sheriff's vehicles come from, it seems like. $27,309 out of the sheriff's fund.
Second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna give you some paperwork on Capers versus KPNF.
I'm kind of familiar with it, so you might give it to them, I don't know.
Obviously, we're interested in changing to KPNF if we can. Just wanted to bring it to your attention.
For the coronavirus money, have we had a chance to talk about that? That we talked about last week,
I don't have any idea what this is.
It's retirement for anybody, deputy wise, basically it's gun carriers.
And it's been,
Right now,
been
it's,
with Capers,
yes,
and you wanna move it to,
KPNF. It's just a better retirement. Does cost a little bit more,
It is strictly for
just,
Right.
certified LEOs, though,
Right,
correct?
yes,
Yeah, it's
only
not-
for law enforcement,
right,
and
certified law enforcement. So
Right.
it's gotta be-
do we know anything about this? Is it a solvent?
Oh, yeah,
Organization?
it's
Yeah.
a long-term organization that
HB
they,
uses it, most of the bigger departments all use it.
yeah.
Okay,
It's kind of been a standard request to switch them for pretty much forever. And, it has not ever happened, but it is a long-term, and it's a reputable deal.
Okay,
It's,
right.
it's
I
the
didn't
law
know anything
enforcement
about
end of Capers on, is what you would say if they have a special law enforcement end, and Osage County has never chosen to go that way. Do you have more,
okay.
maybe they would be, or maybe we would all be more interested if we had a little more, I don't know, specifics on,
We're pulling numbers, I just didn't have them available today.
maybe that's a good way to do it, is just let us study this and you give
Right.
us some more numbers.
Okay.
Because that would be I mean, it's been
Okay,
a
yeah,
lot of them are switching. I'll say a lot of counties are switching, have switched.
It is a better retirement, it really is a very good retirement for law enforcement. The other thing is be having decisions on the CARES Act, where we're asking for the raise instead of the lump sums or whatever.
It wouldn't come out of the CARES Act.
Right,
But there is compensation due in some form, and we're all aware that it's legally required
Right.
and due. Whether, I don't know that we've had any discussion on whether you wanted to go with raise or do the continued overwhelming pile of vacation time that the deputies already have, and which, if all of your deputies took all of their vacation time and all of your employees frankly took all their vacation time at once, you would be there by yourself
I
for
would be
about
lonely.
8 weeks. And I'm not sure that that's a good option
Right.
either. The way the county is going, I personally don't feel that's a very good option.
right.
But no, we haven't talked about it yet. so.
No, we haven't, so.
Do you want to have that discussion, or, Mr. Chairman, that's up to you. I'm not trying to run your meeting, but
Well, right, I know.
it is a decision you're gonna have,
Right,
you're gonna have to
right,
decide
we will
on.
do, so, there again, we need to talk with Garrett again. Make
Well,
sure-
that ain't
I
gonna
know,
be
for
CARES
that.
Act.
But,
That really has nothing to do, that's a standard in-house county
right,
compensation. I mean, it's not out of the CARES Act at all.
No.
It's really, none of that was out of the CARES Act. I mean, what you chose to do with paying
Right.
county employees, so there's a, I personally don't see the vacation thing as being a very good option myself.
right,
Because frankly, they would all, not
Right.
all of them, but a large portion of them already have overwhelming amount of vacation time due them, as you're all aware, and they would strictly be a giant burden to the new sheriff if everyone wanted to take time off at once. They would all be gone for a large period of
Okay.
time. So that's just my 2 cents. on it,
right,
so.
okay. Give us a little more time to think
No
on that,
problem.
so.
Appreciate it, that's all I had.
Okay, thank you much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, gentlemen.
I'm gonna take a bathroom break
Okay,
while we have it.
yes, we have a little time. Yes. Yes.
I'd like to have an old one too. Do you know where yours is?
The old one?
Yeah.
I don't know if I still have an old one. I have a habit of when I get a new one of
Yeah.
getting rid of the old one.
I got it someplace. I'll look for it later.
Actually, yes. You can have it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw it away.
That was- Okay, thank you.
Oh, I handed that. Is that the sunflower thing? Yeah.
I got the.
Okay, That's what I was looking for.
Request. You want it?
no, I was gonna let you oversee it.
Yeah, we need to give that to Garrett.
Yeah. Mr. Tyson?
Are you ready?
Yes, we are. Well, we think we are. You bring good news or money?
No, not real good.
Oh, okay.
Landfill.
Okay,
We're gonna have to alter as our plans begin to run into difficulties.
What kind of difficulties?
Oh, rock, baby.
In Osage County?
got a problem with this drainage. Let me get the map so you guys can see in proximity to the lay of the land.
Okay.
All right. We've got an elevation coming around here. This is a berm that we permanently have in here now to catch this water that we were pumping out, the contact water. Well, if you look, this elevation's coming around and is actually dropping same elevation on the backside of it, as opposed to, we thought that this was going to be catching it. So they're going to take back, and they, being Cook Flat, is going to take back to KDHE. See, back in here, we have dug a trench to drain this water, because this is all ponding right in this area here. This is low area.
That's north of our new hole, right?
This is west of the dam where we've
West.
been pumping.
Okay.
Okay, well, we dug this because what was happening when we were pumping out the old water, the old contact water, we were pumping into this, but as you see, it couldn't go nowhere. So that's why we dug through here to get a drain to naturally flow out, as opposed to having to pump this over into here and then pumping this over into here. So right now, we're trying to see if they will allow us to fill this back in, and using this as a catch basin for the water that we'll pump from here up over into our evaporation ponds. So we're kind of waiting the outcome from KDHE on that.
That's all up to them to decide whether we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because once we start putting trash in here, this water, got to be pumped at that point.
And it's gotta go to the evaporation pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now, we don't have any water, of course, coming in or anything, so
No.
it's dry and everything, but anyhow,
That won't last forever.
that's one of the problems. This, we had an issue about a 3-to-1 slope coming up on the north end here. We have to have this 100-foot barrier, that's what this dotted line is right here.
Okay.
That's 100 foot off of the roadway.
Right.
We have to have that. We can't do anything closer than that point there. So to get a 3-to-1 slope in here, we asked if possibly we could just leave it at the 1-to-1, being trash would be put up again there, as long as we did not exceed this point here. So that's another obstacle. And that would allow for somewhat, it'd be from this point to probably about this point. From this point to this point, gain on trash, which is not
Right.
over excessive, but still looking at 6 foot anyhow. But that's another kind of thing we've kind of come up with on this. We've got, the contractor has got this pretty much all filled in. He's about to his grade on this. We are finding a rather extensive rock ledge that never has been quarried or moved in this area in here. So this may...
So that rock's gonna keep us from getting deep enough?
Well, it's not gonna allow for a 3-to-1 slope.
Oh.
Yeah, we're depth enough here. We had to fill in here. I mean, all this rubble that was
all over
stacked
there.
along here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's what we've filled in this area here now. There's rocks in there, 14 foot
big.
long, 18 inches thick.
Good.
But that's what we're putting down in the bottom and then covering over with dirt,
Yeah.
so.
But the slope part, KDHE might say,
Well,
That
if
might be-
they go with a 2-to-1, it would help.
and they could change it to
And
less.
we've
right?
we've dug a couple of test holes here and we're finding the same ledge all the way through there.
So again, that's up to KDHE to tell us what we do or not do.
Right.
Yeah. I'm hoping that we
well, that
don't.
3-to-1, that's just a safety factor for equipment running around.
Right.
It,
And
so,
you're sure not gonna be mowing.
well, right, yeah, and it's,
Where
and
you-
it's not accessible to the public, so to speak, so.
But, of course, yeah, he's got everything all, well, he had that grubbed out before last week, of course, didn't have a meeting last week, but, yeah, he had all the trees removed and
Okay,
brush, and then we, got the surveyors back out there, once that all, you know, was cleared off good, and got these 4 points in here that showing the actual bottom of the pit,
okay,
so. But in a nutshell, a lot of this area right in here that we thought we were gonna have a lot of dirt. Once you get all the points in there, there's 3-foot cut here, but there's a 3-foot fill over here.
oh, okay,
So guess what? We
Yeah.
haven't gained anything there much.
yeah,
So we're probably still gonna be back into we're gonna have an area to put CD, but you're not gonna still have cover material. You're
Right.
Still gonna have,
Well, we've always been scrambling looking for cover.
right,
there'll probably be a little bit, but, not
There's still more on that
excessive.
rail trail we get hauled in there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which
And-
that's
and
not cheap, I mean, that ain't free to
they-
do that.
They just let that bid
Right.
also, and, they came, what, Llewellyn is as far as their,
right, 4 miles, I think it was,
yeah,
from 17th Street over to
yeah.
Llewellyn, so.
Yeah, that's where the stopping point will be on this next contract.
Yeah.
So actual, into the area where this dirt is.
They're
it
still not gonna get
Still
there.
hasn't, that won't happen for another couple of years or more.
Right,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of possibility of getting dirt, and even if we get all the, dirt that's above the trail or ground level to the trail, you're still gonna have slopes that you could get dirt off of.
right,
Because we just leveled it out, flattened it out.
mm-hmm,
But, the only thing that could be thought about, and we'll bring this up to KDHE too, in the near future, many years from now, when this is getting to capacity, instead of going this way, we ought to see if it could go south and put it on top of the, old CD.
oh, right,
Old
yeah,
Stuff.
Because that's not been officially closed, it was just, I mean, yeah, we done a final lift on it. but
Right.
We didn't close it out,
right,
but if we could, move south and put on top of there and bring it up to the same grade as where we're at now,
mm-hmm,
you know, that would take up a lot of room right there.
Yeah. But that's
But that's
in the future.
several years down the line, but,
Hopefully this'll get served the county for,
well, again,
A while.
when you look at it, when you get everything all cleared out, and it's that groundwater depth thing that really killed us.
yeah,
well, and the whole, having to put all that amount of cover on it. that they require sure cuts your volume of stuff you can put in a hole, which is kind of
But
foolish.
one thing that this could bring up, that brings up something else here, I told you, if they would allow us to use this basin in here as our holding,
Yeah,
this could then become a part of the pit area.
Mm-hmm, okay.
And that's pretty substantial area with a 3-to-1 slope right there
it's a couple
to
of years
handle a lot
worth.
of trash right
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah, it is.
hopefully they will kind of go with this idea. But we had Cook Flat out and, yeah, these plans here are really kind of obsolete. So it's going to be an as-built type plan.
Yeah, right.
Bob Chambers is completely gone, right?
Yes. Yeah, you're pretty much dealing with Lonnie Martin and
Yeah.
Kenny Blair. Okay.
Well, hopefully KDHE will get back with you fairly soon and.
Well, this was Thursday.
Right.
when We had our meeting out there. So
Yeah.
They didn't really have much time. Yeah, that's, there's lots of rock in there, and you're not gaining much dirt out of.
Right.
You know,
When was this drawing made?
this,
Is that an old one, or?
oh, this would have been last year, in the last year.
Should they have not found that rock?
It's scattered everywhere. There wasn't any core drilling done, so, no. And it appears to drop off, so maybe where they, even if they would have done the core drilling, they might have hit a rock, they might not have hit a rock.
A lot of that is where they quarried and where they didn't when it was a rock quarry.
Yeah.
Years, I mean, how many years
And
ago
they-
that was? That was a
These
long
rocks-
time ago.
These rocks in this overburden was just, yeah, dumped however they.
Right.
Dumped it when they were quarrying it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I see.
And what they buried where, nobody, and that was, when did that quarry close? Geez,
I really don't know,
before your time.
yeah. Yeah, it was, whether it was in the 60s,
Well, I don't know.
50s,
50s probably.
Yeah, there's some pretty big trees in there, so.
Yeah, first I thought was.
Yeah.
But, they actually had pretty good luck getting them cottonwoods out, some of them great big ones. They
Yeah.
come sometimes pretty tough, but,
Yeah.
maybe because they growed in the overburden, maybe,
Right,
some of it.
yeah. So,
Paint stripers are coming back in today, and they're gonna get that white line
Oh, they didn't do
this
that.
morning.
Great.
And, then they'll finish the, overlay part that we worked on there last week also. Turkey Point is scheduled for Friday
Oh, on the
on the.
Kellogg's list.
On the, fine for the wind farm.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's,
that'll probably be a 3-day project there. So hopefully we got it wrapped up first of next week.
and, while we're doing asphalt, we can do that bridge deck on Wanamaker or
That'll
something.
probably be a comeback thing. That'll be a comeback thing. There'll probably be 3 full days on the other. Probably won't,
Cause that, everybody and
that'll
their
probably-
grandmas
That'll probably be.
complaining about that bridge.
That'll probably be
Pat's
a,
grandmas.
day when they come back in when it's raining or,
Right.
you know, have gotten rained out somewhere, which,
How much, are they gonna? 2 inch on like that deck or an inch or?
oh, on the deck, probably just an inch, inch and a half.
Do they
On
rough up what's left or just lay it right on top?
Lay right on.
Yeah. Well, it's already pretty damn rough.
Yeah, right, so,
Yeah, it's rough enough, and
It'll stick.
It ain't gonna scoot,
No.
yeah.
and that's pretty much what they do when they're milling a lot of times, is just keep it from scooting or something like that.
So you gonna help them haul asphalt on Turkey Point?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we did down here, which, yeah, one time they were stretched out pretty thin on one of the days down here.
Okay.
We probably would had, over half the trucks in rotation.
Okay.
ourselves. So,
that's good.
we need to make application for this 2021 local bridge improvement program. We got a list of bridges, and this is 150,000 will be given out to each of the counties. And then if the county exceeds that amount, and they close another bridge, another fracture critical bridge somewhere, why it could be additional 50,000 on top of that. They've kind of raised this. It was at 125, and you could get up to 150. So the way that this reads, if you close another structure, you could get up to 200,000.
We haven't really got another one we can close real easy, do we?
Yeah,
Which one?
up on Fisher Road.
Oh, okay, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Right.
The one on Auburn Road, we've got to close it by this.
Whenever they
Come back to
allocate
do the
money-
allocate.
allocate the money for the 2020 bridges.
Well, you might as
And
well.
that's the one that's on Barrington, which here I'll give you a piece of map. Got the locations down here. And that on this map here is bridge number 60. That's my original there. So bridge number 60, just kind of take that off of your thoughts.
Okay.
Here's a list that we have kind of come up with. As far as with Cook Flat and myself. There's several on here can be deleted off right on the beginning. 141. That is still a railroad bridge. It's built to railroad specs,
Yeah.
it's on railroad easement.
It's all railroad in my mind, and always has been. But the railroad doesn't agree.
So number 60 and 141 are pretty much, yeah, I wouldn't even. Now 134 is the one that is really a decent bridge, my thinking, but it's still classified as a
Fraction.
fracture critical.
Yep.
That is in a fairly populated area.
Right,
It's just east of our county road by
right.
half a mile. That's one structure. Structure over here, number 61.
That's the,
Fisher Bridge, yeah.
That one there is the one that we probably could eliminate by doing the, on this program. 161, that's a smaller type structure, I don't even, it might come up to 200,000, but that bridge there is not that big of a bridge there,
Yeah,
Is that?
161,
161.
west of Osage City.
71 is part of the York Bridges. So that's already gonna be eliminated. when
That's the
we-
Right.
one we've got slated to close.
Right.
Going on around the Horn, 97. Don't know on that one down there.
97, we talked one time about us trying to fix it.
That could be done with added beams into it. We've done one section.
Yeah,
The other section of it, it's got pillars that,
yeah.
has been placed in it, basically ones catch trash.
But it would take a whole nother girder to get it off the fracture
Yeah.
critical list, correct?
Yep. 127, that's down a very primitive road right there.
Yeah.
There'd have to be some understanding that there was gonna be a lot of improvements or something in there to warrant that one, so.
Yeah, and they can get to it either side, can't you? I mean, the landowners,
Yeah, you come in from the,
there's,
west.
we're not cutting anybody off with
No.
it.
No, cause it just goes to the north of that and turns immediately back to the west.
Yeah.
There's not a crossroads.
So is that pasture access or what is it down there?
Pardon?
Is that pasture access road or basically, or
Yeah.
Farm ground.
farm ground?
There's some farm on the east-west road, but, the north-south, you don't get that until you get towards the south end
So-
of that. So it's mainly, just access to pastures in there. There's nobody that.
Which they've got to have access to that. But I
Well,
mean, if
true,
you-
but it's,
It's not that big of drive around on
Right.
that one. But,
and if it's only a couple of times,
well,
not like,
So off of this list here, it looks like the 134 is the only real good candidate.
yeah.
okay.
We'll look at some more, but we have to have. this
What's
very-
134, what'd you say it cost on it would be approximately?
I don't know.
Don't know, it'd be way over
We
the,
never done any plans.
Plans on it?
No.
well, if they wanna pay for one,
Yeah.
you don't wanna turn that money down.
See, you've got, on your fracture critical bridges, you've got 8 structures. Well, you've got 10 structures. You got 2 that's on an FAS route,
Right,
and you've got 8 that are on off-system
It's-
roads. Well,
71
One-
is still on that
71.
list of 10,
yeah, 71.
but we all know it's slated to close.
Right.
And
71, and if you do the
61.
one off of Fisher.
right,
then you'd be down to 8. And the inspections on them are pricey on all of those every year forever.
right.
So I mean, it's good to knock every one of them off you can.
Well, in KDOT,
Especially-
they'd like for the counties to prioritize their bridge replacements to eliminate all fracture
Fracture
critical.
critical.
Well, sure,
Yeah.
but,
But then they need to give the counties some more money to do
Yeah.
that,
Well, all money for FAS routes
for sure.
are gone. You
Yeah.
don't have that.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to have all the 80/20s could be used, 80/20 money, 80% feds and 20% counties. Gosh, that used to be, every year you there got a
got
bridge.
at least
Right,
that, and
yeah.
built a lot of
And-
bridges with
And
it.
150 don't buy much bridge anymore,
150 don't build much of a bridge at
Yeah.
all.
so,
Well, it takes 35,000 just for plans,
Yeah,
well, I know, so,
you know, so.
we have a question.
What bridges are fracture critical now? What numbers are they?
Bridge 370, 390, Bridge 60, 61, 71, 97, 134.
Did you say 127?
140, 141, 146.
That's 10.
10, and you knock them 2 off that were, well,
Right.
one we've already promised to close before the next round, 71, and
Mm-hmm,
if you do 61 to get on this list,
yeah,
you're down to 8.
Which one's the Fisher Bridge?
61.
61.
There's no houses on that road, it's just farm ground on both sides of the creek, so,
And they can get to it either side of it.
Yeah.
There's another way in it.
yeah, there's other roads around it, so,
It's not necessarily convenient.
it's a drinking bridge, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a party bridge. Here, you can have this one here.
Glenn, on Bridge 370, is that the one north of Mauer?
Yes,
So, and the reason it's on the fracture critical is because of the 2 girder system?
yes,
So is there a way to put extra girders in that bridge?
no.
Not on that one.
Gonna have to have new columns. It's got 6, you would think, if you crawl underneath that bridge, you would think, wow, this thing never would fall in. The problem is, the beams, there's 2 6-foot beams under there, and they just run, there's 24-foot deck, so you basically got 8 foot that hangs out over this beam. Then you have an 8-foot section between this beam and this beam. Then over here on the other side, you've got another 8-foot section just sitting there. And that's the problem, is that if a heavy enough load, and that's how they classify fracture critical. Because if at any given point, if a heavy load is over, say has his left wheels on top of a beam and his other side is sitting out here, if this would fail, they're gonna go in the stream. Now, if they were building that bridge, and that was built back in the 60s, they've tried to build a cheap bridge just because of the size of it. They thought they were doing something good. Fracture critical bridges, we never even heard of this until this Minneapolis bridge
collapse.
failure collapsed.
Mhm.
That got KDOT all fired up, and that's when we started hearing about it. And all these fracture critical bridges, we have to have inspected. That bridge, the size of it and the way it's set up, you have to have what they call a snooper truck. And this is, it's mounted on, well, they have them now even on trailers, but they have arms that will reach up, out, over, back, and on a fracture critical inspection, they have to be able to actually place their hand on the beam, the joint, anything along that underside of that bridge, they have to get that close to it. And that's why it costs so much to have inspections, which way we have been doing here lately is letting KDOT hire a contractor or a firm or engineering firm to do this and then we just pay them rather than us hiring a company just to come out, because they may have to go and get this piece of equipment just for that one particular project. Well, if KDOT knows that they've got 100, I'm just throwing a number out. If they know they got X number of bridges to do, they can say, hey, we've got this many that needs to have a snooper truck, and what kind of pricing you get and all that.
So do we know when the last time that bridge was inspected?
Yes, it was done on our 24-month just recently, which we don't have the final report back from Cook Flat. A fracture critical is done each year.
The
Has
reason
to
I'm
be.
asking that is, the form I have shows that it's an 81.9% rating on that sufficient
It-
rating.
it's
I
actually
noticed a lot of
lower.
these are-
It's
lower
lower.
than that now.
I called them this morning, and it's down to 80. So it's lowered about 2 percentage points.
And what's the ton rating, John, on here? It shows a lot, so.
15, 23, 40. So 15 ton on a 2-axle vehicle.
The sufficiency rating doesn't mean as much on a fracture critical bridge as it does on a good bridge.
Right. Here's why I'm asking these questions. After the meeting 2 weeks ago, we talked about that bridge, or you brought that bridge up, about being on fracture critical. There's a lot of people in the Melbourne area that are concerned about losing their bridge.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just lay out the question they asked me. Is there support of anybody in this county commissioner room or road and bridge that wants to take that bridge away and not put it back?
Well, that's
No way you do that.
That's a very important bridge. Will it have to be replaced at some point? Probably.
And it's gonna be in the location it's at. A lot of times you can build a bridge alongside
Side of it and leave
Yeah,
that one
this-
there,
This
hopefully.
bridge is gonna have to be, whenever it becomes a liability issue and has to be closed, when sufficiency rating gets down to 50, or if they determine other things, that probably is gonna have to be closed for, I don't know, whether you could build a bridge in there in a year or not.
I mean,
It-
will it have to be replaced? Yes, at some
Right.
point.
Absolutely, I agree.
I mean, there's no way around it,
But-
and it's a very expensive bridge.
It has to be,
That'd be a $2
I think
million
they wanted
bridge.
clarification though, because they had heard that there was support not to have that bridge put back.
No, I don't know where anybody would
Yeah.
have ever heard that.
That's why I asked the question.
superintendent called me and I said, I haven't even heard of that. So I said, but it's gonna stay there.
And I talked with him just a little bit ago, Joe Samples.
Right,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I talked with him, and yeah, he said the same thing, he had been hearing that it was gonna be closed.
I don't know how they heard that, but you know.
I don't know where did that
It,
came from.
it's going, eventually, yeah.
Yes.
It will be closed.
Right,
But until that point, now what could happen, you make a 1-lane bridge out of it,
You
Now-
could, and then get away with some of the weight
but
thing.
you're gonna have to have
Stop
traffic
lights, yeah.
traffic signals
uh,
where you could keep the traffic
yeah,
in between those two big
Right.
bends.
Well, it's always been one that would be on the next bridge bond if whenever that happens. And I would encourage whoever sits in these chairs to put that on the next bridge bond when that comes, but it's gonna be a $2 million bridge.
yeah.
That's why I brought it up there a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago, is that, yeah, that's something that we ought to be thinking about.
Well, right,
I mean,
but-
it's not gonna happen, needs to happen next year, probably, hopefully not,
Yeah,
you know, and hopefully nobody,
Hell,
You know, you
depends
get these
who
super-
drives what across it.
you get these supersized loads that goes across these bridges. and
Right.
Nobody
Yeah.
ever knows about it.
And you can't
And
do
then the
nothing about it.
poor innocent John Doe goes across it, or,
right,
you know, heaven forbid, a busload of kids, you
Yeah.
know, go across it. You got communication with buses constantly on that road, going back and forth. And you've got a bridge here now that you've got 3 miles to go this way, to
Right.
get to the state highway, which
Yeah.
is gonna be the best way, cause if you go, the next crossing is 4 miles this way,
okay,
and that's down a township road on Shawnee Heights,
right,
that road, yeah, can't
Yeah.
handle.
That's a big old tall bridge, it'd be an expensive bridge to build.
Yeah,
I mean, that's another problem.
well, everything's wrong with it.
Everything's wrong with the whole.
You know, that you got too much stuff on each side on the south end there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a wide, didn't have that hill
Right.
back there to the south,
But
yeah, you could build another structure
beside it and
Right.
run it, well, that, but I don't know if there's enough room there to do that, is there?
Not,
To
as
use that
is.
bridge while you're building the new bridge?
you'd have to cut part of that, and that's all rock on that.
Oh, yeah,
But-
so-
But,
Yeah.
you
Did
know,
you
they,
do it open as a one-lane bridge while you worked on it?
You can't hardly do that while you're building a whole new
Well,
bridge.
So you'd have to build out, you couldn't use any of the existing bridge, you'd have to replace it all.
Well, if
Yeah.
you're putting it in the same spot, which is the best spot for the bridge, but,
yeah, again,
I mean, you
the
can
only
do all
alternative-
kinds of things,
Well,
whether
I
it's
was, I mean, my
feasible.
mind got blown when I heard somebody ask me that they thought that bridge would be gone, I think there's no way the heck they'd ever.
Right.
I mean, that's.
Well, I
think people using their mind would know better than that.
I mean, if it eventually gets replaced, would it have to be closed while you're replacing it? I would probably say yes.
Unless you cut that hill down.
Unless you cut the
Yeah.
hill down and you're talking adding a bunch more money to the whole project. then.
Well,
Yeah, you just still have the price of the bridge plus the
They
removal.
cut
of
Yeah.
that
the hill.
rock.
yeah, if you put a Bailey Bridge or something in there, guys, that'd cost you a fortune.
Well, as high as that is too, but,
I don't know, yeah, I don't know what.
and then you have the cost of removing the old bridge, which the way they do that now, where they require you to catch everything and not let nothing fall
Oh,
in
yeah,
the stream,
can, you know,
makes all of that incredibly expensive.
Yeah, you know.
So it's gonna be a pricey bridge
Just
whenever
think-
it's done, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, even if you tried to revamp the abutments to allow for another, and that's what the engineers were saying, the cost on doing that, cause you're gonna remove the whole deck just to get that
right,
part done. And then adding on to the beams, adding two
right,
beams or beam on each side of the existing ones, you're probably gonna have more expense there than just putting in a whole new structure.
right.
Yeah, because we've debated that talked about that years ago, about can we tear the deck off and put more
Right.
beams in there, and
So how long has this bridge been on the fracture critical list?
well, the fracture critical list didn't exist till that bridge collapsed. I mean, all of them
Right.
got on then.
Yeah,
That was all a new thing, just they appeared then, so ever since then.
10 years, I can't remember when
Anything
that.
with two girders has been on the
Right.
fracture critical list, so.
yeah,
But, yeah, you
So the
didn't.
bottom line is the people in Melbourne don't have to worry about being without.
Not for a
No.
little while,
Well,
no.
At some point,
yeah,
But just temporarily while another one gets built.
I
Yeah.
can't see, and who knows, the people sitting here, who will do in the future.
right,
I mean, and that, like he said, that doesn't have to be done next year, it doesn't have to be, but at some point it's gonna have to be done. But I can't see not having a bridge there, ever, that would
I agree
be,
with you.
that would be
yeah,
a
worst case
large
disaster,
stretch.
someone hits the railing with a combine, knocks a big chunk of railing off, then what happens?
Yeah, then, that's what I say, it could happen.
Cause that could break a chunk of the deck,
Right now.
yeah,
Because,
One
That-
semi with an overweight load hanging too far off that one girder
Yeah.
is the worst theory, like
Yeah.
he said, that you could see.
the hub guard
right,
on there is really the only thing that's supporting that outside.
right,
You know, your deck is only looking at 6 inches
right,
and thick. And that hub guard along the outside edge, it's got on this particular instance, I think it's got a big round pipe for a rail. But,
right,
that's besides the point, but that is the only thing that's really supporting any movement or
Right.
movement in that deck. And, yeah, you're right. If anybody crashes into it and weakens that, yeah, it could be,
right,
and being it's already classified as fracture critical, it should be closed right away.
Yeah, okay.
But that could happen to a lot of bridges.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure,
something-
understand that.
Something
but-
unforeseen
but-
and odd, and
Yeah,
that's,
well,
look at the one that burnt down, I mean,
yeah,
Yeah,
a wooden bridge will burn down, or this will happen. I mean,
Okay.
you can't judge what's gonna happen, and you wish you could
So-
replace them, so.
any update on Huck Road Bridge up there?
still waiting on field check from KDOT,
Beautiful weather and,
I know,
yeah, we can't do nothing with it, so, okay.
nope, I don't have anything on it.
Okay. Anything else?
No, not that I know of. We got mowers to go and trying to get everything all mowed back. Trying to get all this other kinda wrapped up too. Got, some culverts get put in here.
Okay.
Highway too, so. Have a busy time right before winter season.
Right.
The road permit.
Can't get away with nothing with your boss here. Dwayne.
Yeah.
Always am.
Yeah.
Well, you probably gonna have lightning, you worked on this more than me.
It's the city of Carbondale wants to bore under Topeka Avenue.
Okay. It looks like a 3/4 inch service, so, yeah, if they're bored, I don't see no issue.
I know. For a water line
They're
or
not
what?
cutting, so, there's a bore, so, yeah, I'm good with it.
Sure better than digging across them.
It
Yeah,
sure is.
whether they bore anymore, well, that's a lot better deal.
Yep. You're all right with it then?
Yep.
I move we allow the city of Carbondale to bore under Topeka Boulevard.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
We are today hauling, that paper trailer from the, Osage, the.
Oh, the Kiwanis.
Kiwanis. Yeah, we're taking that down to Wellsville and trading out with an empty trailer.
Yeah.
They actually got filled up.
Do they get paid anything for paper, on newspaper?
I don't know whether they do or not.
I mean, there's nothing else
They
to
don't
do.
get anything, you know,
Yeah.
ours is just a donation.
I was kinda
Well, yeah.
surprised the Kiwanis still wanted to, I mean, it was still paying them good enough to do anything, but,
I don't know, they get a lot.
yeah, they do. And they work at it, and
They,
it's keeping it out of the landfill, but, it's like all those things, it sure don't pay like it used to.
No.
They, yeah, they finally did get rid of that one trailer, got it emptied out, the one that they overloaded in the front and everything.
Yeah.
That turned in to be quite a deal. The city said they kinda worked pretty good at that, getting that off that day, I guess.
Better them than us.
But, alright, well,
Okay,
Thank you, as always.
we'll, see what all happens on this KDHE. I sure hope they do that. Like I say, that add a little bit more space and.
Right.
And everything else too.
Wow.
Still having, it's still contained in there. It's not gonna
Right,
go anywhere.
yeah.
Once we fill back our trench back in, which is not hard.
Yeah.
We were having trouble getting the material just pushed back far enough just to get the trench.
okay,
And 9 times out of 10, they're sensible.
yeah.
It's that one time
It's
out
not
of
a
10 you gotta worry
Highly
about
populated
KDHE,
area,
but-
so, yes, so.
I mean,
Okay,
it's
thank you,
just-
Glenn.
You bet. See you later.
Yep.
You don't need me.
Okay. Well, Mr. Foster.
Thank you, acknowledge every compliment. As I promised the commission some years ago that I would always be back with something different. Okay. And different I have. I retained a lawyer, and I had a lawyer review my material. He worked with a railroad that went out of service and went to a trail. So he understood all the contracts, all the terms, everything else that goes with it. And what he related to me was, I am right in presenting what did I present for information. I'm presenting the right cases, I'm doing the right things. I have retained his law firm, so I do have retained counsel. And this is something that was assembled by my neighbor that kind of is an overview of most of the information that I'm carrying with me today. There's another aspect to it that I generally don't talk about very much, is that I had been sworn for law enforcement. That also puts me in as an officer of the court, and that retains more duties and obligations than it does anything else. No, I'm not an attorney, but I have the same responsibilities for telling the truth when it comes to the legal matters that I know about. The railroad law, as we talked about and it is written in this book, is done to where that it leads you to a lot of what I would consider and call legal fiction. If you only read one paragraph, you get into the middle of nowhere with a wrong assumption. So if we stay to railroad statutes, which is what I'm trying to do today, Commissioner Anderson, when we were on the tour, and I showed you that picture with that newspaper's date on it, I said somewhere it is written about definitions of when they could do it and how much they had to do. Statute 66-525, paragraph number 3 does that. They could acquire the land and they had 10 years to put it in, or they could designate somebody else to tend the right of way, but somebody else had to do something with it, not just abandon it. So for violation of state statutes, the railroad is in violation of state statute by allowing it to continue. Now, the Surface Transportation Board sends everything changes to and anything else to the railroad real estate office about it, and the railroad has to approve it. I have that in writing. The railroad office, when you call them, will go, we don't have anything to do with that over there, until that you confront them with that. When you confront them with that, they go, oh my, you know the truth. So yes, the railroad is still there. The old deal of the fiber optic case that went to the Supreme Court proves landowner all the way down through about who owns what and who is responsible for what. Yost versus Surface Transportation Board confirms what we can do here under local jurisdiction. This is a violation of state statute, which brings us to that should just go with a quiet title, quick claim deed, or whatever else the members here think is an appropriate thing to file.
the agitation rate in trying to keep everything straightened to where it makes sense has gotten very difficult over the years. I can prove it's a railroad right of way, case after case after case, down to including district court rulings that show that the trail is nothing more than renters as they have been described. There is another twist to this that I remembered. In their contract, it states that they had to operate in a manner that did not create a liability for the railroad. Well, they created a liability in the railroad in not maintaining that trail at all and doing nothing. But there's another important part to this too, that even here from an order from this commission, we know that there are dangerous hazards out there. Since that is open to the public, those hazards are extreme, up to the point of being fatal. They were told to put up trail closed signs for the general public. They have not done that, exceeding that 10-year limit also. So even in operation for the general public, they have violated this. So this puts the trail group in violation two different ways. On one, in state statute in doing nothing, two, in general obligation to the public. This violates their contract, and the contract is only between the railroad and the trail manager. Surface Transportation Board is only a filing instrument. Yoast shows that and proves that. So, I've got case after case after case that we could repeat. I've got the law book that essentially states that we have shared with the commission before, that does that. The thing that I've had to tolerate before as being a sworn officer of the court is there's duties and obligation to make for sure that things are done right and legal. And at one point, what happened, I would have considered a violation of my oath. And it happened here amongst the commissioners. Now, with what can happen today and confirmed by my counsel, is if the commission does not act, we can then enjoin the other legal counsel that's back east. It has a name sounding like a comic strip character, but they specialize in, well, you gotta have a little humor in here someplace, but they specialize in government's not following statutes, not government following the rest of the stuff. So right now, the easiest thing to do would be to set up a work day to where that I can show him the complete thing to that, to where that we get to the absolute truth, to where that we can get our quit claim deed to that. Now, another interesting point to this is abandonment. The railroad, in their actions west and north of Overbrook, deliberately, and is signed in and recorded in the deeds, that they had no further use of that right-of-way. None. All right, you have abandonment by action, and then you have de facto abandonment by their non-action. And if they didn't see that their trail managers were doing what they were supposed to be, they de facto abandoned it. So I'm trying to figure out what other words that I can use, what other cases that I can bring before, what other stuff that I know that is relevant, that will make a difference to the governing body.
So right now, you would like your lawyer to talk to our lawyer and present to him this in a working session at some point, or you, or whatever.
With as thorough as my research was done, confirmed by that attorney. It's my research, and I would be the one to explain what it is and what have you. If we need further counsel from that, I would then consult him. But I think I have enough documents and enough cases and everything else to confirm what I need to.
And then your ultimate goal, or I mean, not your ultimate goal. After that, you think that the commission can issue you a quit claim or
The reason that I think so, and the reason that I believe so, and so does my counsel, is in the documents that I have when the railroad went into existence. The power to take the land, decide where the right-of-way was, and everything about that railroad going in happened here.
In the commission in
Commission.
1800 or
In
where,
1800.
whatever the
So
date
if the
was,
commission took it,
they
the
could give
commission
it
can
back.
take it back.
I've,
It's a long deal we have been through,
we've been through it for years.
Right,
I
yes.
mean, I've been here,
I'm
you've
trying
been
to-
here.
I'm trying to get this to the Reader's Digest version to
Yeah,
get to the point
yeah.
that we go over the minutia in a
Right.
time frame.
The,
Recognize that we have a problem and there is a solution to this deal in statute and in contract.
the issue I've always had with this is that every lawyer we've ever had, which is even before Pat, is they all said, well, goes back to the feds and the county really doesn't have a dog in this hunt as much. And I know you think otherwise. But we've had several other lawyers that have told me that on this issue. I don't have a problem with you presenting it all if Pat wants to listen to Pat. I mean,
All this stuff happened before I was here.
yeah,
Right.
it did.
And
Yes,
I know hardly anything about it.
Yeah.
right,
And it's what I'm telling, that's why I'm saying, and Jim and I both know it, because Jim and I were both here.
right.
But I think it was 3 different lawyers before Pat, and they had all kind of came to the conclusion that the county can't do anything against the feds. Do you have something new that you think, or is it just the same volume of?
It's the same volume of stuff, but it is confirmed by a lawyer who actually
With new
went
cases, yeah.
through the whole thing. So this was firsthand information confirmed by an attorney that went through it.
I personally have no problem with you and Pat coming up with the two of you
Right.
sitting down and then letting him
I
research.
think
But-
a good starting point is a letter from your lawyer.
Right,
I mean,
yes.
I don't know anything about this stuff. There's no way I'm gonna sit down for 3 days and try to learn it all.
It is a
Sounds
hugely complicated
Yeah.
issue. Whether
You
you're for it,
can't-
against it, don't like it, like it. It is a nightmare to wade through, because I have attempted it at different
Yes.
times.
You can't believe where the information gets hid at, that's deliberately hid,
And
that's almost in a basement filing cabinet taped under a drawer is where that you find it.
it is a very odd federal land taking, whether you like it, don't like it, whatever. The way they did it was a very strange
The
process.
trick to this is understanding that the railroad went into what they called rail banking.
Yep.
right,
Rail banking started to where they could just turn the switch off and leave it.
Yep.
Then they tripped over all these other statutes of during the last train, during the rest of this and what have you, so they had to come up with a different use. This, what we're talking about, isn't even doing that.
Yeah.
It is not condemning it for or not taking, it is based on railroad law. And it is based on the railroad doing what they need to do to keep their right-of-way open. And that included even giving it to the trail group, and the trail group had an obligation to them to see that it's done.
Yeah.
So the feds, the confusion has been that the feds took it. No, the feds never taken it. It is still not taken. It is still the
Railroad's problem.
problem. It is
Yeah.
still the railroad's deal. And to get that point across in how much legal fiction has been brought into this is phenomenal.
But then you ask the railroads, and like you said, the railroads run screaming from it.
yeah,
They run screaming from it until that you come up with the right statement from the governing body that they have to answer to, and from there they go, oh my,
Yeah.
you understand this.
And most railroads have way more lawyers than you or the county or anyone else.
We'll agree to this, but we have them with a deliberate abandonment, we have them with a de facto abandonment.
right,
We have them hazards to the general public that they haven't addressed in longer than that
Yeah.
statute that we're.
And all that I'm with you with, because there's a whole lot of them with horrible bridges, and they theoretically are open trails, and no,
Yes. even just railroad right of way by itself, going from the railroad law book assembled by KU, talks about how twisted a lot of the railroad law is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get out and close up time and what have you.
Okay,
Well, you,
So,
it's a
I
mess.
still need a deal from you guys that we are going for a quiet title, quick claim deed, whatever. And that we have the deal of establishing a working legal relationship to be able to start this process.
I have no problem with you presenting stuff to our lawyer and
Right.
letting him give the commission his opinion.
yes.
Like I
Is that
say,
the correct statement?
I mean, from what I know about this issue, I mean, it'd take a month to figure it out. I mean, what I'm saying is it's a good starting
Well, you
point.
can talk to his lawyer.
His lawyer write the
Right.
letter and
Right, have him do that,
have him start there.
yes.
As a preview of that, that's kind of the basic outline of, that's evidence. But that is kind of the outline of the cases, outline of the rest of it, outline of.
Yeah, and I'd
So
like
if
to
that
see
gives
from-
you a basic working
Right.
information sheet and essentially the cliff notes into this. Because it's very easily getting drug into what looks like real, but leads you into the obscure.
Right,
You
I
might want
understand that.
There's-
I'm just asking for a letter from your attorney on
Right,
the
yes.
letterhead outlining his opinion on all this.
right, let's go that way.
Since he hired an attorney and he say he agrees with you.
I will see what that's going to cost me and get that sent out to
Okay.
you, because it's a piece by piece.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck, Jim. I know you fought this for years and years and years.
You know, I really should be used to people not listening to me by now.
Yeah, well, it's
Okay,
such a convoluted issue
yep,
that
It
it
is.
can just,
It is, but when you have it in writing from other people,
yeah,
Well, yeah.
yeah.
it makes it all the more hard to swallow when it's you're presenting information that somebody else has actually taken the time to written down and sign their name to.
Yeah, yeah.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Garrett, come on up. How are you this morning?
Well, thank you. How are you all this
We're
morning?
okay.
Well, I'm just here to give you an update, answer some questions.
Okay.
Did you get that one fair thing? I don't know if he's got that or not.
Okay. Would you give it back to me?
One of you two have it
No,
from the Melbourne Fair, their
Yeah.
request.
did you give it back? There it is, I got
There
it.
you go. I knew you
Yeah,
had it.
I hit it.
Osage County is unique in it has 3 county fairs, quote unquote county fairs. The county supports all 3 fairs, but the county doesn't run them, unlike many other counties. So we have 3 fairs in the county, so I mean, they're all, I think, sending you their wish list or for grants or however we wanna do it. And most of them canceled some or all of their
Right.
fairs this year. And they're worried about the 21 fairs, and I think it's a suitable thing for us to include. They are large events for our size county. And the only difference is in our county, we have 3 of them instead of 1, but the county has always supported all 3 of them. And so I think it's a it would go in the non-profit
Right.
area of potential grants for the CARES Act.
County support has been for ribbons and judges' fees and things like that.
And they've tried to do other fundraisers.
And then they do
to carry
fundraisers
everything
to
else
do
on.
other things, but,
And this has hampered all of that for all of them.
right, so,
Frankly, so, because they basically, well, some of them did more than others, some of them did something, some of them
Right.
didn't do nothing this year. And they're all worried about whether 21 will even come off, so
if they have a carnival or something, that's their expense, it's not ours at all,
But,
so.
they also had very little income
So,
on most of it. Some of them
we're-
had more than others, some of them didn't, so.
I've spoken with them all, so they
Okay.
checked in with me, and so I was,
Spoken to Melvin.
yeah, and I encouraged them to, submit this to you guys.
Right,
see,
okay.
For your consideration.
And so, and then there was a couple other smaller, like, historic things that I gave your information to, and, nonprofits that had been negatively affected on their fundraising for things they're trying to do, and,
So the ones we've spoken to, I've also encouraged them to submit something like this to
Okay.
you guys for your
Right.
consideration, so we can get it all together. See.
Yeah. So, all of those are in the next pot, I would say, of consideration. In my mind, they should be.
Well, hopefully, this is the first one I've seen from the fairs, this is the only one's been submitted so far.
Right, okay.
The Overbrook guy.
Yeah, I don't know where
Right.
the Overbrook and Osage City one,
Yeah, great.
some of them I gave Rhonda's email to that she was going to forward to you on some of that was one of the Arvonia Historical Society on their, trying to redo their little town down here, their, kind of an abandoned Welsh town that they have been rebuilding, and, so, I don't know. And Rhonda's over there, but we can't, you can call her on the
Yeah.
phone, but we,
I've spoken with her.
yeah.
And so she's putting together something there too, and there are a couple other things that's starting to come in, I think we just start to, put a list together like we did at the beginning.
Right,
And put that on your desk again for consideration.
I think that's the right way to go, and there's some other businesses that either, this gentleman here, he would like another chance at consideration. There's other businesses that I somehow missed out on applying the first time. I don't know
I've been getting some calls like that too.
if that's something we want to accept applications for and then revisit or not, and it all kind of comes back to how much is left in the pot. when
Right.
This and that's done, but,
We have been accepting them, Rhonda's been taking, accepting them.
Okay.
And scanning them and sending them to me, and we've been compiling that list.
okay.
And so, do you want to put out and publicize that we're gonna take a second round, supplemental, a waiting list, however we describe that, and start, see if there's other businesses maybe.
I, in my mind, see no point in turning any of it back to the state and having the state give it to
Right.
Johnson County or France or whoever knows. I mean, I'd just soon it got used sensibly or as sensibly as possible within the confines of Osage
Helping
County.
businesses
And
priority.
is fine with me, and the nonprofits too, and the Historical Society, the main large historical society, have they present anything to you?
That was the Urbania, or that wasn't?
Eileen Davis is the lady, I think I sent you her number.
So, no, I haven't spoken with Eileen yet, it was the Urbania Society that I actually.
Arvonia.
Arvonia.
Yes, that's a different one.
Right.
But the one right across the street here, the
Right.
Osage County Historical
I'll make
Society.
a point of making sure I follow up.
And follow up with her and make sure that they have a chance to apply too. I mean, they had fundraising issues because of being closed down, and it's like everybody else. So that's another one, but I have no problem with accepting more applications, whether they're all guaranteed. I mean,
Right.
nobody's guaranteed
Is
nothing.
your committee still together?
This gentleman would like
we
to address
We
Garrett,
can
I
convene
guess.
that committee again. I'm
Yeah.
sure that they wouldn't mind getting together again
Yeah.
and put it out there.
I mean, that might be the correct way to do it again on all of these, but I don't know, the fairs are kind of a little bit different. We could maybe just see what they all come up with
Right.
and do just a grant to them, because that's kind of that isn't really a business, and it's a county thing, and kind of, not
Right.
really, they all have fair boards
I understand.
that the county just supports them.
Right.
A lot of counties across Kansas, the county runs the fair and
Yes.
and that's never been this way in Osage County for whatever reason historically, I mean forever.
Yeah.
And so, They've all been independent associations that the county has supported, which then statutorily covers the requirement for the county to have a county fair. We have 3 of them instead of 1, but,
Yeah, plus they were being very conservative in their amounts.
Yeah.
So,
and the ones that I talked to, then they said, well, we don't even know what 21's gonna do, and if we,
Right.
nobody knows. This gentleman had
Yes.
questions, Mr. Chairman.
With the opening up an application process again for new people that have not, applied, whatever that may be, but I know that when I applied, I was approved, but I was approved for 20% of what I asked for. And I asked for 25,000, I got 5,000. There's a lot of business out there that got that amount percentage, some more, some a lot more. But I was only awarded 20% of what I asked for, and that was through a group that
Right.
all had been paneled for people from the county from each cities to kind of
None of
decide. I
the-
know they ran out of money. But
None of the commissioners have seen any of the applications.
The local-
So,
Right,
so
right.
the
I
committee,
went to a committee,
they look through it and
and
I
they
don't
ran
know.
out- That money ran out.
Well,
No.
They tried to distribute it, I understand.
not necessarily run out, but they distributed that portion. And there is some still remaining that's left to be distributed that we have not spoken towards. I mean, but that's what we're talking about, how to do the next round.
Will we revisit the applications that are already out there that did not receive the amounts that they were looking for as far as adding additional amounts?
I don't know.
I would leave that up to the committee. Because most of them, the way I understand this, they looked at your application and your documentation and they based what they awarded on. And some of them, apparently they asked for more information from them.
Well, if they,
I
I
don't
never
know.
received anything.
Well, but
from
it
I don't-
somebody
wanted
like I
it.
said, we don't-
more information, but yes.
I don't know how they made their decision, so.
And, but there are more needs to be met out there in the world. And, so,
Yes.
I would say that the people on the committee, I know they prefer to meet in person, and I would assume, you might ask them, but they would probably be fine with listening to someone to come and give his case, why he would maybe reply and ask for more. I think they would be open to listening to that. And it might be easier to hear somebody in person than just read something on a page, because that application really wasn't all that friendly to this process.
Well, I said, I never even looked at the application.
well, I
so-
looked at the application,
It
it was
really
a,
wasn't a very good application for what we were being asked for, so you might ask the committee for someone like him, that desperately needs this money, if he could maybe come personally and present why I'm asking for this.
that would be up to the committee if they meet
Yeah.
again. I have no problem with what the committee wants to do on their own, I mean,
Yeah.
themselves, that's, if they wanna do that, that's great.
We thought that was the fairest way to distribute, was have a independent committee look at things, you know.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
opposed to the committee,
So-
I'm just saying that, it may be good to let some of these people that maybe weren't awarded, or
Okay.
weren't awarded what they needed, maybe the committee be willing to listen to them personally, and sometimes it's easier to convey your request than
Okay.
writing.
We never gave the committee any direction that they couldn't talk to people, or they had to, or not. They can do,
Right,
the
so-
committee can decide that.
I'm gonna put an email out to them and.
Okay,
convene
yep.
A group and see what they.
Well, I mean, before you would do that, I mean, do you want to publicize that we are accepting another round of applications or not?
Any idea how many late requests or additional applications
We
we've
have
had?
about 12 in right now.
Okay,
And do
They
you,
come in.
I mean, I know we publicized, and what we can with what we have to publicize, is it worth publicizing one more time?
Or look at the ones that, other applications we've got and review the ones that didn't.
I have no problem with putting it in this week's paper
Yeah,
again and
I
putting
guess
it back on the
Yeah.
website, say, you can, if you,
Yeah,
you're welcome to present once more in front of
Yeah.
the committee, and that this is the last time.
If is your direction?
Have the cities done their, Osage City, have they made their awards?
Almost, they're close to cutting, their application period is ending this
Okay.
week, I believe. Linden has taken all their applicants, Scranton is a little bit behind.
Okay.
And so there'll be awards there, so Linden, Scranton, Osage City still need to make their awards. Overbrook has just shut theirs off, so there's another whole round of awards there.
Yeah.
For them, so, I mean, there's still money coming to businesses.
Okay.
In the county quite a bit, actually.
So,
And then the money for like the senior center for that, the freezer and
Right.
and they're redoing that area for their, whatever you wanna call it,
harvesters, yeah.
harvester thing, is that already in what was distributed, or?
So there is money for the senior center here. There's some questions about which direction they'd like to take.
Well, right, I know, we haven't discussed that yet among the
Well, I mean,
commissioners.
now's time to do it.
Okay,
I think they,
Do you have a handle on what the dollar figure on that part is? Yet? Or, I mean, have they even gotten bids on doing that?
yes, she had bids on the heating and air conditioning part of it, and that was like $100,000,
Ah, well,
you know.
that's,
Then the remodeling, don't have a problem with remodeling part of that storage area for the harvester thing.
I
Cause what
don't
they're
for
doing
part
now
of it, as
is,
long as, and if you can move the appraiser's stuff
Yes.
to that other room,
that's part of this
and
other deal.
that would free up room for them to have that in that, and I have no problem with doing that remodeling part of that.
Right,
And then getting them the freezer or whatever, I think's all very appropriate as far as a future food
we
pantry
could,
and all
I
that.
think they could get a bid on that pretty quick, but I'm saying, you know,
I would say. they
$20,000,
need to get-
$25,000.
I would say they need to get us good bids just on that
Right.
part.
Okay,
Don't you?
we'll go with that. Mr. Bailey, your hand was up first.
The money that was put out, that we signed checks for today, the 2 million, what was it?
Right.
I don't remember the exact number now.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
$130,550.
Right. So that was the businesses and the schools. That was
Right.
Nothing went to the county.
Fire districts, all that.
Yeah.
So did the county take what was marked in those departments, or is that money still laying there? How much money was the check for?
2,000,000.
2 million.
Right.
$1,550.
Whatever that number
So
I
there's
told
still
her.
over $1 million in that account somewhere, or quite over $1 million.
Some of these questions, and we've got to beg off, Christine doesn't know. Christine is our temporary
Yeah.
All right, so I'll ask you,
appointed
because
clerk.
if we spent $2 million, we still got 1.2.
No, this is a change orders.
What was the original number we had to start with?
3 point.
Yeah.
So if we spent $2 million, there's still $1.2 million sitting somewhere. So
Okay.
the money for the county.
This was the individuals, fire districts, school districts,
Okay, that was my question.
yeah.
So this was just school district, fire departments, and.
I think there's a question about how to distribute county money, whether they come to the county with POs or they're just gonna transfer them. to departments.
Right.
And some of that is a Rhonda question, which Rhonda is secluded, so.
Right.
The county's just the sheriff, emergency management,
Health department,
health department,
and perhaps senior center,
and senior.
Right.
yeah.
But I know that the emergency management sheriff, a lot of PPE, stuff like that, they need to get going.
Right,
Orders
that
and
has,
stuff, or-
none of that's been done yet.
Or if he doesn't have a sort order and that stuff, there's chances.
Right.
He might not get it. 'Cause it's hard to come by.
Is that what Bryce ordered this morning?
What?
Is what he ordered today?
No, that was a separate grant.
That's another grant he got.
Some of them's got their own money, so,
Some of those are all Rhonda Beats questions.
Yeah.
I think her staff's straight, she's.
I mean, as far as the county money, what's been distributed out of there, how it's been
so we need
distributed,
a
the parts to the county
spreadsheet now
department.
that shows us exactly
that's a-
what we've all done.
We could call her
Okay.
probably and ask her, but I don't know.
It isn't back there.
Sorry, I will sit somewhere else next time.
Okay.
But this kind of goes along with what you're talking about right now, but when will it be available to see a list of all the checks, including today's or anything previous today, the dates they were written, who they were submitted to, and for the amounts. When will that be available?
Well, that one that we just did today, you can have it.
You can have
by
a copy of
request.
that in about 15 minutes.
So today,
Well-
any checks written out of this account for these things, whether today or previous, where would I get a copy of that?
Usually in there, but you can't interact with them till Wednesday.
Starting Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so I really am not trying to put you off, but we have these issues
No,
that
that's
we don't.
okay. That's why I was asking.
But I mean, Wednesday theoretically, the way I
Right.
understand it, they're out of quarantine.
And my second question is, of the $1.1 million left, is it committed anywhere?
It's all committed.
Well-
Except for the $330,000 for the building in the health department. which
Right.
We haven't officially pulled, but we know
Yeah.
it will be.
Right.
There's another 50,000.
Yeah.
250.
Okay, well, that was my question, of what's available left if we reopen, when it's
A
reopened
short
for business?
400,000,
What's available?
Yeah, short 400,000.
somewhere around 400,000.
We gotta pay bills Thursday, right?
Yeah,
So,
those are all around the questions.
right, so that would be if we could get the spreadsheet then of where we,
And possibly look from the senior center, because.
Yeah, the senior.
That down too, so there's another.
My question is, I don't know where that senior center, there was some of that other money, whether it was locked in that 2 million or not.
well, that's what we're
So
somewhat
that is
confused
a
about.
Rhonda
Yeah,
question, and
of
we're all
what has
confused
already
by it,
been
so.
committed for that over there.
Okay, but we're gonna move the storage out of there and encourage the senior center to do that.
Not the whole thing,
Not the whole-
just
Right.
one part of it.
He
The
wants
whole
it.
thing is not
Right.
doable just by state statute. We have to have somewhere to store
We
this.
have some certain things we need to store. So,
And it's not really.
at this point, we're going to
anybody's-
put in, if you're not familiar with harvesters, they get these boxes every month of food,
Right.
you know, and they get about 65, 70 boxes. And right now, the truck drops them in the parking lot. They have to take them through and store them in an office over there. And then when people come to pick up, they have to take them all the way through the building. So we're gonna remodel part of the storage area out there now, put an extra door in there. So they can use a pallet jack and take the whole pallet and just roll it right inside the building. So,
And so, but there are requirements on the stuff stored in the other part where not everybody has access to it theoretically. So they would need another entryway and then a kind of a dividing wall, which would not have to be Fort Knox. It
Right.
could be, wire mesh,
Well, right.
chain link, whatever wall, that you want to decide.
probably
use it
would
as.
help to sheet rock off this a little bit and put a part of that a little bit.
Perhaps,
It's gonna be a
I'd
small
be
portion
fine with
of
it.
that
But-
storage.
But it's the cutting the hole through the cement with a saw and putting a garage door, miniature.
Oh, no,
garage-
this is metal building part.
Oh, on the metal side, well, then that's even cheaper.
Yeah, that's all they gotta do is frame it
Yeah,
and put
there we go.
a walking, yeah, that's minor.
I can't see that as being.
Like I said, 20,000, I
Oh,
think would do a heck of a lot.
20,000 would do
So,
a huge amount, buying the freezer and everything, but
well, yeah, and like I said, there's a freezer expense too to go with it,
How would
refrigerator.
you like me to go about helping out with that, or helping to administer getting that project started?
Fred's kind of the senior center
Yeah,
guy,
I'll
so
go.
maybe you ought to visit with him and then Tammy and put your
If
heads
we can get
together
the-
and do that and
If
get
we can get the
moving.
key to get back in there again, so
Yeah,
it's locked right at the moment,
and the keys in the contaminated part of the
so
building.
we might have to.
So you'll just call me when we're ready to talk about it.
Right.
Tammy's basically on speed dial, so.
Right, okay, yeah.
Alright. I think we ought to direct him to put an ad in the paper again.
Okay.
And say then say a magic date and say people can apply, there's no guarantees on anything, and this would be just this leftover 300 and some thousand, whatever
Right.
it is that we're talking about.
So,
And,
so that's Wednesday and Thursday, it's in the paper. And give them to the 30th of the month, is that too much time?
I think that's fine.
And then have the committee meet the week after,
Okay.
you know?
And, I mean, like the fairs and some of them nonprofits, maybe you'd
Right.
wanna do, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you want the committee deciding on them or not, cause some of those are more of a, we'll see what they come up with.
Well,
for
yeah, right,
applications.
okay.
See what they come up with.
Right, okay.
Applications, I'm fine with it.
Mr. Bailey?
Are you gonna put the ad in for 2 weeks in, like this Thursday and again the following Thursday?
Well, I guess. But still, the deadline's gonna be the 30th.
But that gives them all a fair amount of time to get everything right. That gives them over 2 weeks, that's pretty bad.
Right.
Almost 3 weeks.
Deadline
That'll
is
work.
5 o'clock at the newspaper.
Today.
Yes, today.
Did most of
said
the
that
applicants
they-
come in as emails, or did they come in mailed in?
I'd say 75% of them were emails, but
Okay.
those were hand delivered.
Okay, well,
scanned, something
I
like
mean,
that.
not everybody does emails, so we
Not
have to
everybody
account
does
for
it,
it.
But, you know, the way it is now, do we want them all to, it's just however we're almost comfortable.
And
Right.
you're going to handle putting it back in the paper, or do we need the clerk to do that?
No, I can get it in today. No
Okay.
problem. Way
And,
to do it.
Good enough.
put it in today, and for 2 weeks is fine,
Right,
and give them that 30th date,
yes,
and then,
yeah.
Are we gonna ask the ones that think they were underfunded to reapply?
That's up to y'all. I don't know how we do that. We were talking about, I thought that,
we had a good committee, we all agreed on,
Yeah.
they came to a decision, I don't know how they came to it.
I don't know yet.
well, I mean,
It just, whether you want to,
I talked to one committee member after it was all over with, and he said there were some people that they did ask for more information, you know.
oh yeah,
So,
I don't
I
know,
don't know the
I could,
process.
in my mind,
and I would think if,
I would think the ones that hadn't applied ever
right,
are a little different case than the ones that have already applied. I'm not saying they were, none of them, they weren't worthy or shouldn't have got, I
Right.
don't know, I wasn't on the committee.
don't know.
And I didn't wanna be on the committee.
right.
Thought on that.
I haven't seen that yet done with anyone else in any of the programs that
Right.
are going on in the state. An appeal, you didn't give me as much as I asked for. I think it's up to you all, but we would have to,
New ones would certainly have a priority in my
Right,
mind.
yes.
And, maybe if they want to reapply and state a reason why they think that would be in a different pile and maybe see what's left after this round.
I don't know. Mr. Bailey?
I kinda think we've already set the precedence that they're gonna be able to reapply, cause the Girls for Trails people's what got this started. Cause they come in and applied after they got turned down, they came in and commission.
Well, they came and asked, they
Right,
haven't.
they haven't been
gotten
awarded.
nothing.
But what I'm saying is, they got the opportunity to come ask, so if the other people, did they get the opportunity?
Yeah, anybody can get on the agenda.
Right,
I don't know that I accept, that I think that's an application.
oh, yeah, I would,
If they're asking for money, I'd say that's probably an application.
Yeah, well,
Unless
they
it's a
didn't,
handout, I mean,
Yeah.
one or the other.
they didn't get any.
right. Well,
That would be this hard.
we'll leave that up to the committee then, if they wanna review applications.
okay, it's only happened one time so far in all the cities, all the counties that we're working with the CDBG money, it's only happened one time someone's come to us and made the complaint that they weren't awarded what they thought they should have gotten. So far.
Yeah.
Did they have justification for it? That was,
Well, this is the only time.
okay, okay. I think most people was happy with what they got
Second time.
over. Yeah,
Same county, both
Okay.
times here, evidently.
You mean
Okay.
the
The
trail?
guy today and then the Girls for
yeah,
Trails.
okay.
The trail, yeah, but we feel like the trail's sort of doing it, right? We're gonna,
I don't call the trail a business either, it's more of a nonprofit in that kind of category
Right, so.
in my mind, but.
There was
Okay.
other nonprofits on there, there was.
Yeah, I know too,
Yeah.
I saw that too, that some of them got it, some of them didn't, but,
So I'd say the committee did their just cause, and they said that the other one didn't deserve it. So it looks to me like a reapplication. That's all I'm saying, is that
Okay.
if it's good for one, it's gotta be good for all.
lots of opinions.
Okay,
All right, you need any more direction?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank
See
you.
next Monday, thank you very much.
Anything else in the files?
I'm done.
I've got, Scott Lloyd stuff too here.
Okay.
I've looked over it, I mean, look, it's the same as it always is. I mean,
Okay.
there's some figures in there to, you know, to handle the 2021 and 22 budgets as well as budget planning.
right,
Like he always does.
right.
But, I mean, as far as I can tell, it's all right.
All the same as it always is.
Okay. Well, I move we approve the audit and budget contract with Swindle, Jansen, Hawk and Lloyd.
I'd second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just one spot?
Yes. I hope so, I just looked at the last page, so. It's- We're not down to putting sticky arrows on it yet.
Well, I found a spot you didn't sign.
Oh, okay.
I think there's 2 copies of the same thing,
Oh, okay.
which is standard.
I keep finding more.
I know, you just keep sending.
Anything else we need?
I could do a non-elected personnel for 10 minutes, but,
Okay,
so I move we go to executive session for 10 minutes for discussion of non-elected personnel with just the lawyer left.
I'll second it.
do you anticipate any action
I
afterwards?
don't anticipate any action, it's more informative in nature.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you know how to shut that all off?
Yeah, it's called pull